Now then boys, welcome back to the ultimate bushcrafter's guide of trees. Where I'm going to show you all the most useful trees in bushcraft for things like weapons, tools, medicine and food, with a little sprinkle of mushrooms as well, because some trees, mushrooms like a lot. And today we are going to be looking at this one. Now in bushcraft, if you are looking for a tree that grows branches straighter than Chuck Norris, then look no further. Because this tree's branches grow so straight, even if it was turned into a pegging board, it would retain its straight card. And in bushcraft in particular, having these nice straight branches makes it very easy to make things like spindles, walking sticks and spears. And other weapons like adalatls, bows and arrows. In fact, this tree's wood was so useful to early humans, we used to do something called coppicing to it, which is where you find a fairly big tree of this tree, cut it down and then it would grow really straight long shoots that we used to use for things like fences, baskets and traps. And if you haven't guessed it by now, this tree is hazel. And one of the primary uses of hazel has been the main spindle in a bow drill set for fire. The key identifying features of this tree are the leaves are nice and circular with this pointy little tail. The leaves are also very kind of soft and furry to the touch. They also have like a double serrated edge, so they have got a serration, a jagged edge, a serrations, a jagged edge, and then a serrations. Serrations and serrations. And the bark on younger ones, which are really the ones that you want to grow like this, all brown and speckly. But as the tree ages, the bark starts to look like this. It goes more of a silvery grey, and you can still see the remnants of them speckles. But for me, one of the main primary giveaways of hazel is in early spring they get these weird ass looking catkins. So you basically see one, you think, oh, it's got them catkins, and you know that tree's a hazel, and then get yourself familiar with it. But it is fairly rare that you actually see a very large hazel tree, but in the autumn hazel produces hazel nuts, and they're quite nice and full of fat and will sustain you on a long journey. But the hazelnuts look like this, with a nut in the middle and like a green fluffy outer casing. But I rarely ever find hazelnuts because the squiggles get them first. But if you are looking for a hazel tree that's big and strong enough to produce you hazelnuts, then it's going to be a tree of about this size. But like I said, good luck, because the squirrels always get them first. But hazel has got many medicinal properties. Hazel leaves stimulate blood circulation and bile secretion and are used in remedies for liver and gallbladder complaints. The bark, leaves, flowers, catkins and nuts are all considered astringent, wound healing, blood purifying, fever fighting and sweat inducing. Now you gotta know you can't have an ultimate bushcrafter's guide to trees without this one. Before you scroll forwards or you're like, yes, I know about birch trees, yeah, I've got some interesting things about this tree to tell you. So as we all know, birch is by far probably one of the best fire lighting materials in the whole of bushcraft. You can see here some idiot has taken a massive chunk out of this for a piece of fire lighting material. But truth be told, really, the new growth will work, but the stuff that you're after is the old stuff like this. And all you have to do with something like this is basically take a knife, take some fine shavings and build a little pile up in the middle, put a spark into it off with fire steel and voila, you have got fire. The entire tree is actually basically flammable, so if you find some of its dead small branches as well, that will make a brilliant tinder bundle. To transfer the initial flame from this onto that bundle, and then you have got fire. This bark is also very resistant to rotting, which is why it's left just hanging on dead standing trees like this one. I mean, basically this property of rot resistant is very good for making things like containers. All you have to do is find a nice big sheet of birch, put it together in like a cylinder that's hollow in the middle, sew it down the middle with some natural cordage made out of something like lime, which we discussed in the last video. Cut some sections of birch wood nice and thin, pack it in the top. You can even then take glue from this tree, which I'll tell you how to make in a minute, and glue the top and make some kind of a waterproof container. I've also made knife sheaths and little pouches out of birch bark as well. Birch is also a very good hardwood, so you can use it for anything that you're going to use a hardwood for, like making tools, shelters or nice decorative pieces, because it's a very beautiful wood. Birch is a truly versatile material, from its wood to its bark. Now on to the medicinal benefits of birch. Birch leaves act as an effective remedy for cystitis and other infections of the urinary system, as well as removing excess water from the body. Birch leaves are a cleansing diuretic. The plant has been used for gout, rheumatism and mild arthritic pain. And then you have got the medicinal properties of the sap. Now the sap on birch trees can be tapped from the tree in early spring. And the medicinal properties of this sap is a natural source of electrolytes such as potassium and magnesium, which help maintain proper fluid balance in the body. It also helps flush out toxins and excess fluid, boosts the immune system, reduces inflammation, and you can drink it straight from the tree or process it into a syrup, wine or beer. And then other benefits of the birch tree in bushcraft are these little guys. Now this is a birch polypore mushroom and it has many uses. One of its other common names is razor strop because you can actually use this mushroom when it's a little bit bigger to basically sharpen your knife. Well, put a fine edge back on. The mushroom also can be used as an ember extender. So when you get an ember, you put it on this mushroom when it is dry and it will extend the ember. The very interesting thing and the key importance of this mushroom is in its medicinal properties. You see, this mushroom can be turned into a tea and taken as medicine. Or you can just straight up dry the mushroom, grind it into powder and take it in capsules. Birch polypore is an antiviral mushroom. Research shows it could help prevent the reproduction of HIV cells and treat all kinds of infections from flu to yellow fever to encephalitis. This mushroom may help fight tumours. It has the ability to aid in the destruction of cancer cells without negatively affecting healthy cells. And just to make things better for bushcrafters, this mushroom also can be used as a small band-aid. So if you get a small little cut on your finger, you actually cut the underside surface, the pore surface off this mushroom into a strip, wrap it around the finger, and basically when it dries it will start to constrict down on the cut, and it's also got antibacterial properties. And just when you thought this tree could not get any better, it's got more secrets to behold within its tar. So to get the birch tar, you basically get a shitload of birch bark and you put it in a metal container. And then you put this metal container with a hole in the top and a bigger hole in the bottom on a campfire. And you do a process called dry distillation. And the dry distillation basically purges the birch tar out of the birch bark, and then it collects through the hole in the bottom. And then ideally you dig a hole under your campfire with another container to collect the precious tar. I'll do a video on this later on. But this birch tar has been prized as an adhesive, a bug repellent, a medicine and a water repellent. You can actually use birch tar to like water seal canoes and stuff. It's how the ancient Indians used to do it. But birch tar have long been used in both traditional and official medicines as an effective treatment for some skin conditions such as scabies, eczema, psoriasis, trophic ulcers and fungal infections. And I am honestly sure that I've missed a few things out about this tree, man, because honestly, it just continues to surprise me. But the key identifying features of this tree are, well, this beautiful white bark, these heart-shaped leaves with little serrations on the side. And on some species of birch, this bark is extremely papery and just kind of peels off. That's the best kind of stuff for firelighting. But I think that's going to be it for this one, people. And don't forget to like and subscribe to stay tuned for the next one.